May 5th, 1945. Okinawa, Japan. The Battle of Hacksaw Ridge is over. The Americans retreated. Everyone left.
Everyone except one man, a medic, unarmed, alone on top of a cliff surrounded by Japanese soldiers, and he's lowering wounded men down the cliff one by one using a rope under enemy fire. After each rescue, he prays the same thing: Dear Lord, please help me get one more. By the time the sun rises, he saves 75 men.
Without firing a single shot. This isn't fiction. This isn't exaggerated. This actually happened. And the craziest part? His own fellow soldiers wanted him dead just months before. This is the true story of Desmond Doss, the soldier who refused to carry a weapon and became the most unlikely hero of World War II. Desmond Doss was born February 7th, 1919, in Lynchburg, Virginia. Small town. Working class family. Father was a carpenter. Mother was a homemaker.
They were Seventh day Adventists. If you don't know what that is, basically, very religious. Saturday Sabbath, no meat. And here's the big one: very strong belief in thou shalt not kill. Not just murder, any killing, even in war. Now, Desmond took this seriously, like really seriously. When he was a kid, about 10 years old, something happened that shaped his entire life.
He got into a fight with his older brother. Normal sibling stuff. Except it got out of hand. Desmond grabbed a brick, hit his brother in the head. His brother collapsed. Blood everywhere. For a moment, Desmond thought he'd killed him.
His brother survived, but Desmond never forgot that feeling, that moment when he thought he'd taken a life. From that day on, he made a promise to God: I will never hurt another person. Fast forward to 1942, Desmond's 23 years old, works at a shipyard in Newport News, Virginia. December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor happens. America's at war, everyone's enlisting. Desmond feels conflicted. He wants to serve his country, he really does, but he can't kill. So he makes a decision that sounds insane. I'm going to enlist as a soldier, but I'm not carrying a weapon. His family thinks he's crazy. His pastor warns him. His fiancée, Dorothy, begs him not to go. But Desmond's made up his mind. April 1st, 1942, he enlists as a combat medic, no weapon. And that's when the nightmare begins. Basic training. Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Day 1, they issue rifles to everyone. Desmond refuses. His commanding officer stares at him. Soldier, take the rifle. No, sir. I'm a conscientious objector. I won't carry a weapon. Now, here's the thing. Conscientious objectors existed. The military had protocols for them.
But most COs went to non-combat roles. Medical units, far from the front. Desk jobs. Desmond? He wanted to be a combat medic. On the front lines, where people were shooting at each other. Without a gun.
To his fellow soldiers, this was insane. Worse, it was cowardly. They made his life hell. His sergeant, a guy named Howell, saw Desmond as a problem, a liability, someone who'd get people killed, so he tried to break him. Extra duty, brutal drills, cleaning latrines, over and over. The other soldiers, even worse. They beat him up, called him a coward, a fraud, Bible thumper, yellow belly. They'd throw their boots at him in the middle of the night, steal his stuff, spit on him. One guy, a soldier named Grady, told him straight up, when we get to combat, I'm gonna shoot you myself. Blame it on the Japs. Desmond didn't fight back, didn't retaliate, just kept showing up, kept doing his job. His commanding officers tried a different approach. They tried to discharge him. You don't belong here. Take the discharge. Go home. Desmond refused. I'm not leaving. I have a right to serve. They tried everything. Psychological evaluations said he was mentally unfit. Desmond stood his ground. Finally, they tried to court-martial him, said he was disobeying orders. That's when Desmond's father, a WWI veteran, stepped in, got a lawyer, fought the military, and somehow Desmond won. The military gave up. Fine, you can stay, but you're still carrying a rifle. Desmond, no, sir. They were stuck with him. Desmond's unit, the 77th Infantry Division, ships out. First stop, Guam, then Leyte in the Philippines. And this is where everything changes, because in combat, Desmond proved everyone wrong. July 1944, Guam. Desmond's unit hits the beach. First time under fire, bullets everywhere, explosions, chaos. The soldiers who mocked him, they're terrified. Some freeze, some panic. Desmond, he runs toward the gunfire. A soldier goes down, shot in the leg, screaming. Everyone else is taking cover. Desmond sprints across open ground. No weapon, no protection, just his medic bag. He reaches the guy, patches him up, drags him to safety, then goes back for another and another. By the end of the first day, he saved 12 men. The guys who called him a coward, they're watching this, stunned. Sergeant Howell, the guy who tried to break him, he sees it too. After Guam, the attitude changes. Not everyone likes Desmond, but they respect him, because when bullets are flying, Desmond's the one who shows up. October 1944. Leyte, Philippines, heavier fighting, more casualties. Desmond's out there again, running through gunfire, saving lives. One moment stands out. A soldier, badly wounded, is lying in the open. Everyone's pinned down. No one can reach him. Desmond crawls out under machine gun fire, reaches the guy, starts treating him. A Japanese grenade lands next to them. Desmond sees it, has maybe 2 seconds. He could run, save himself. Instead, he throws his body over the wounded soldier. The grenade explodes. Shrapnel tears into Desmond's legs, burns his hands, but the other soldier survives. Desmond drags him back, then treats his own wounds, then goes back out. By now, his unit trusts him completely. They see it. This guy isn't a coward. He's the bravest man they've ever met. April 1945, the 77th ship's out to Okinawa, and there Desmond Doss is about to do something that defies belief. Okinawa, April 1945. This is it. The final push toward mainland Japan. The Japanese know it. They're fighting to the death. The Americans are facing the Maida Escarpment, a massive cliff about 400 feet high. The soldiers call it Hacksaw Ridge. At the top of that cliff, fortified Japanese positions, bunkers, machine gun nests, tunnels everywhere. The plan, climb cargo nets up the cliff, take the top. April 29th, first assault, they climb the nets, reach the top, and all hell breaks loose. Japanese soldiers pour out of tunnels, machine guns open up, grenades, mortars. It's a meat grinder. Desmond's up there, no weapon, just his medic bag and his faith. Men are getting hit everywhere, screaming, bleeding out. Desmond runs from man to man, tourniquets, pressure bandages, morphine. He's dragging wounded soldiers to the edge of the cliff, lowering them down with ropes. The fighting's so intense, the Americans have to retreat. The order comes, fall back, everyone off the ridge. Soldiers scramble down the nets. But Desmond looks around, wounded men everywhere. Some can't move, some are unconscious. Everyone else is leaving. Desmond stays alone on top of Hacksaw Ridge, surrounded by Japanese soldiers, and he starts praying, "Dear Lord, please help me get one more." Let me paint the picture. It's late afternoon, May 5th, 1945. The top of Hacksaw Ridge is chaos, smoke, bodies, the smell of gunpowder and blood. Japanese soldiers are still up there patrolling, shooting anything that moves, and Desmond Doss, unarmed, alone, is crawling through the carnage, looking for survivors. He finds a guy, unconscious, bullet wound in the chest. Desmond drags him to the edge, uses a rope sling, something he rigged himself. It's called a bowline knot, ties it around the guy's chest, lowers him down the cliff, hand over hand, 400 feet. Gets him to the bottom. Medics take over. Desmond pulls the rope back up, and then he prays again. "One more, Lord. Please let me get one more." He finds another soldier. This one's got both legs shattered. Desmond splints them. Best he can, drags him to the edge. Japanese soldiers are close. He can hear them shouting. Doesn't matter. Lowers the guy down. One more. This goes on for hours as the sun sets into the night, one soldier after another. Some are conscious, some aren't, some are so badly wounded they shouldn't even be alive.
Desmond doesn't leave anyone. At one point, he finds a guy, guts hanging out. No chance of survival. Desmond stays with him, holds his hand, prays with him. The guy dies in his arms. Desmond closes his eyes, says a prayer, then keeps going. One more.
By the time the sun comes up on May 6th, Desmond Doss has lowered 75 men down that cliff. 75, each one by hand, each one while Japanese soldiers hunted him, and he did it without firing a single shot. When he finally climbs down, covered in blood, exhausted, barely able to stand, his unit sees him. They can't believe he's alive. Sergeant Howell, the guy who tried to break him, grabs him, hugs him, tears in his eyes. "You crazy son of a bitch, you did it." But Desmond's not done yet. May 21st, 1945, 16 days after Hacksaw Ridge, the 77th is still fighting on Okinawa. Desmond's out there again, treating wounded, running through gunfire like always. A grenade lands near him. He sees it, kicks it away. It explodes. Shrapnel tears into his legs. 17 pieces, burns, deep wounds. He goes down. His buddies see him fall. They run to him. "Medic, we need a medic." Desmond, lying there bleeding, looks at them and says, "I'm fine. There's guys worse than me. Go help them." They ignore him, start treating him. While they're patching him up, Desmond sees another soldier get hit about 30 feet away. He pushes his guys off. "I said I'm fine, get him." They go help the other guy. Desmond crawls, legs shattered, over to another wounded soldier, starts treating him. Finally, they get Desmond on a stretcher, carrying him to an aid station. On the way, they come under sniper fire. The stretcher bearers drop Desmond, take cover. Desmond, still on the stretcher, sees another wounded guy lying nearby. He rolls off the stretcher, gives it to the other guy. "Take him, I can wait." A sniper bullet hits Desmond, shatters his left arm. He's losing massive amounts of blood, multiple wounds. They don't think he'll make it. But Desmond Doss survives. His arm is badly damaged, shattered bone, torn muscles. He'll never regain full use of it. The injury ends any hope of returning to his pre war work as a carpenter. And he never complained, never asked, "Why me?" He just said, "I did what I had to do." October 12th, 1945, the White House, Washington, D.C. President Harry Truman is presenting the Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration in the United States. It's given for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty. During votes, 472 people received it. And on this day, President Truman is giving one to a man who never fired a shot, Desmond Doss. Truman reads the citation, the whole thing, every detail. 75 men saved, under fire, alone, unarmed. When he finishes, Truman looks at Desmond, shakes his hand, and according to witnesses, Truman said, "I'm proud of you. You really deserve this. I consider this a greater honor than being president." Desmond was the first conscientious objector to receive the Medal of Honor. The first ever. Think about that. A man who refused to carry a weapon, who his own unit wanted dead, became the most decorated soldier in his division.
But here's the thing. Desmond never saw himself as a hero. Years later, when people asked him about Hacksaw Ridge, he'd say, "I was just doing my job. Those men would have done the same for me." And when they asked how he did it, how he saved 75 men alone, he'd say, "I didn't. God did. I just prayed for one more."
Desmond came home to Virginia, married Dorothy, his fiancée who waited for him through the whole war. They had one son, Tommy, born in 1946. Desmond worked odd jobs, struggling with his injuries, lost most of his hearing from the explosions. His left arm shattered, barely functional, constant pain. He couldn't do carpentry work anymore. The arm just wouldn't cooperate. He developed tuberculosis from the war, lost a lung, spent years in and out of hospitals. November 17th, 1991, not 1976 like some accounts say, Dorothy died. Desmond was driving her to the hospital. She was being treated for cancer. He lost control of the car less than a mile from home. The accident took her. Desmond was devastated. But in 1993, he remarried a woman named Frances Duman. They were together until he died. Desmond spent the rest of his life speaking to churches, schools, veterans groups, not about the glory of war. He hated war. He talked about faith, about doing what's right even when everyone tells you you're wrong, about serving others. In 2004, the Army wanted to honor him again. They were building a new hospital at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. They named it after him, the Desmond Doss Health Clinic. Desmond, humble as always, said, "I hope it helps people. That's all I ever wanted to do." March 23rd, 2006, Desmond Doss died at his home in Alabama. He was 87 years old, buried at Chattanooga National Cemetery in Tennessee, full military honors. At his funeral, veterans from his unit, now old men, stood and saluted. Some were men he saved on Hacksaw Ridge. One of them said, "Desmond was the bravest man I ever knew and the kindest." So, what do we do with Desmond Doss's story? Is it just an incredible tale of heroism? Sure, it's that. But I think it's more. Desmond's story asks us a question. What does courage actually look like? Because we think courage is about violence, about fighting, about being the toughest guy in the room. But Desmond showed us something different. Courage is standing alone when everyone thinks you're wrong. Courage is running toward danger when you have every reason to run away. Courage is saving the people who hate you, who beat you, who wanted you dead. Desmond Doss could have taken the easy way out 100 times. He could have stayed home, taken the discharge, carried a weapon to fit in, but he didn't because his faith, his belief in what was right was stronger than fear, stronger than peer pressure, stronger than survival instinct. And here's the thing that gets me. Desmond saved 75 men, maybe more. The exact number doesn't even matter. What matters is this: every single one of those men went home, had families, lived lives. Their kids exist because of Desmond. Their grandkids, great grandkids, one man, unarmed, faithful, changed the world. The movie Hacksaw Ridge got a lot of things right, but it left one thing out. After Desmond lowered the 75th man down that cliff, he didn't collapse in exhaustion like the movie shows. He looked up at the sky and he said one more prayer, not for himself, for the men he couldn't save. That's who Desmond Doss was, a man who believed love was stronger than hate. That faith was stronger than fear, and that the greatest weapon you can carry is compassion. Desmond Doss proved that you don't need to carry a weapon to be a warrior. You just need to care enough to run toward the fire when everyone else is running away. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button. I've got more true stories from history that'll restore your faith in humanity. And let me know in the comments, what do you think took more courage, fighting with a weapon or saving lives without one? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.